Last night, Floyd Mayweather fought Logan Paul. And not only did Mayweather not annihilate him the way experts predicted, but Logan Paul actually won several rounds. Everyone was shocked, but I wasn't. Here are 3 reasons why. Number 1, David and Goliath. This was a rare opportunity to witness a true David and Goliath match in boxing. Floyd Mayweather against YouTuber Logan Paul, who was nearly 20 pounds younger and 35 pounds heavier. No one debates that Mayweather at 50-0 is one of, if not the best to ever do it. And no one also debates that YouTuber Logan Paul at 0-1 is anything but an elite level boxer. With such a massive disparity in professional accomplishments and experience in the ring, most people expected Mayweather to annihilate Paul within 8 rounds. Not only did that not happen, but Paul actually won several rounds, proving all the experts wrong. Everyone was shocked, including the Pauls, but when you peel it back, it's not that surprising at all. A sport that relies almost entirely on speed, power, and reach is not going to favor someone who's older, weaker, and shorter. It's that simple. The fact that Mayweather fell short of expectations takes nothing away from his past accomplishments, but it does show how incredibly difficult boxing is and how potentially unreliable it is against larger opponents. Conversely, the fact that the Brazilian jiu-jitsu empire was built almost entirely on David and Goliath matches, Gracie versus Wladek Zbyszko, Rickson versus Zulu, Royce versus Dan Severn, speaks much less to the amazingness of the Gracie family and much more to the amazingness of jiu-jitsu, particularly against larger opponents. Number 2, 99 ways to win. The fact that with boxing, you really only have one way to win, the perfect strike from the perfect distance, makes it incredibly difficult to knock someone out, especially when you're going against someone who's younger and more athletic than you are. It's not impossible to land, but statistically, it's very challenging. We'll call it 1 out of 100 or 1%. With jiu-jitsu, all we have to do is grab you once. And regardless of how we fall to the ground, you on top of me on top of you, I have 99 ways to submit you. Basically, every joint, every limb, every major artery to your brain is a target. And if you're my opponent, you won't be able to defend against that which you do not understand. And because we're gonna target you with a submission that relies on leverage or alavanca, it doesn't matter if you're younger, stronger, or faster. Once we get a lock on you, the fight's over. Number 3, distance is everything. If it's true that a boxer has to land the perfect punch and a jiu-jitsu practitioner only has to grab the opponent one time, it makes perfect sense why jiu-jitsu is so effective that it's almost unfair. And for anyone who doubts the grabability of an elite boxer, consider the fact that Logan Paul, a YouTuber at 0-1, was able to grab and clinch Floyd Mayweather 47 times last night without getting knocked out. Don't quote me on the number. Had the ref not separated them every time they clashed, they would have inevitably fallen to the ground, and when they did, Logan Paul would have beat Floyd Mayweather up in a fight on the ground, because Mayweather has not invested in the skills to defend, escape, control, and submit the way jiu-jitsu teaches. Why am I ranting about this? For one reason only. If you're someone who's considered learning self-defense to defend against a larger, more athletic opponent in a potential street fight, you must learn jiu-jitsu. If there's even 1% of your brain that thinks learning boxing is the most efficient path towards personal protection, you're wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn other skills, and boxing and kickboxing can't be great things to learn eventually. I'm saying if you learn anything before you learn jiu-jitsu, you're investing in your personal protection in the wrong order. Most importantly, when learning jiu-jitsu, you have to own the 32 principles that make all the techniques work the way they do. Fortunately, our new course, the 32 Principles, is coming out June 26th, this month. And in order to join us for the live unveiling party, you have to register at the32principles.com. Listen to what our friend and 6-time BJJ world champion Cobrinha had to say about the 32 Principles. Never mind the fact that he's also 155 pounds and he's also over 40 years old, but he would annihilate all the Pauls put together in a real street fight in the same night. Because jiu-jitsu.
I wish I had this explained to me in this way when I was white belt.
It's a new rock. You haven't seen this rock before. You just ask yourself, where is the rock not?
Hello everyone, I'm Cobrinha, multiple times world champion and the only one who have done the Super Grand Slam in the history of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 32 principles course Hero and Henner create for people like you and myself to take our BJJ to the next level. Those principles are for white belt to a black belt. It doesn't matter what your rank is. Once you learn the 32 principle, everything in Jiu-Jitsu will make more sense for you. To make it easy for us to understand those principles, they have been broken down into 4 groups. And in this video, I'm going to mention few of them. First one, connection. In order for you to sweep someone and submit someone, you need connection. Second one, detachment. Sometimes we need connection and sometimes we have to know when to let it go, to take advantage of the opportunities going to appear in front of us. The third one is distance. You have to know your distance really well. It can be for sport jiu-jitsu, but also it can be for self-defense. Once you know your range really well, you can take your game to the next level by knowing your distance. Coming up in the BJJ, I had to learn the hard way. I wish I had this explained to me in this way when I was white belt. But guess what? It's never too late to learn. Once again, it doesn't matter what your rank is, there is always room to improve. And with the 32 principles, I'm positive you're going to level up your jiu-jitsu. Guys, like in life, to master something in life, it takes time. Am I right? And what do I mean by saying that? When you have the recipe, it makes our life easier. In this case, the 32 principles, it's going to speed it up or learn in jiu-jitsu.